What's good, y'all? Taleb Fazle, aka Blvck Skully. On behalf of Hoosier and Popular Outcast, I present to you Before You Press Play. Essentially, what Blvck Skully kind of represents is a tale of woe. It's a combination of a range of different emotions that I was feeling between like the 6-month period of my span of writing it. It's a combination of just like my depression, my anxiety, my paranoia, and more or less like the darker thoughts that a lot of people think of but don't want to speak up about. The character Blvck Skully, he's essentially an embodiment of all these different emotions, almost like a persona in a sense, something that was created to more or less like get me through these hard times in a sense when I was creating. Essentially, you're going to get two different sides of this album. You're going to get the first side, which is almost like obsessively hopeless romantic, which is a new wave for a lot of like my previous listeners. It's something they've never heard before. And then you have like the second part of the album, which is more 808s, just really heavy hitting stuff that people are like essentially already know me for. And I feel like the second part of the album is what will like appease like the listeners that I already have, the listeners and fans that I already have presently, while the first half of the album will essentially draw more people in and like show them a side of myself that they've never seen before. The most personal song on the album probably has to be Glitch 2. Glitch 1 is already on YouTube and it's like, you know, doing pretty well. I think we're about like 1.5 views. Glitch 2 was very hard to write only because it's been a very long time since I've written like a love song per se. I wrote 5 different verses for it and I didn't like the first 4 at all. More or less like experiences to actually write it because like I couldn't get like a grasp on like what it meant to actually like talk about love for a minute because it's been a long time for me. It's been a long time since I've been genuinely happy and genuinely in love. So when I experienced the emotion for the first time in a long time, it was just like, you know, how do I talk about this? So that took about like, I want to say, I got the beat back in January. And I just recently finished it. So it's been about like 5 months since like I actually wrote it and finished it. So yeah. As far as life goes, like I said, this is one of the most personal albums I've ever like really like took the part like liberty of actually like letting people know about. This is written off the 6-month span of just like a lot going on personally within my own life. Losing my house, losing my car, going through 2 like huge, like very like pivotal heartbreaks, as well as figuring out my mother has cancer again. And also within myself figuring out that I was diagnosed with cardiovascular heart disease. So, you know, going through the process of these last 6 months, like I was in a very dark place essentially, and it inspired me to like write based off of these emotions that I was feeling because I've never really experienced a low like this, like ever. You know, if you know me personally, you know that I've always been like a more uplifted person, a very strong individual, but like for the one time in my life, I genuinely felt like I just lost everything. Now, musically, a lot of different influences came from Eminem's Marshall Mathers LP, which I don't even like Eminem like that, but like, you know, the way that that story was told kind of just like more or less inspired that very well. Tyler the Creator's Goblin, Weeknd's Thursday album really did a number on it sonically, and just a lot of different like influences from like alternative sounds also made like an impact on how I wanted to create, because the sound has a very alternative like hip-hop sound to it. And I know that a lot of people throw that term around very loosely, but I feel like this sound like more or less implicates that like to the fullest. Honestly, as far as engineering goes, I've always done my own vocals only because I never trusted anybody with my own vocals, and like I felt like I needed to take a different direction with my sound sonically, because clearly what I was doing wasn't like, I felt like I was reaching like a ceiling essentially. And you know, so I put my trust in Freddie Buns over at City Dump, and you know, me and him worked very well together, surprisingly. You know, I was very scared because like I've worked with a lot of different engineers in the city as far as like doing features or solo projects with them, and I just never really trusted anybody with my sound because it's just so eclectic and it's just like very abrasive. And you know, so me and Freddie are still working through a lot of the process of that as well, because he doesn't know how to do like the ad-lib. Like he's still learning how to mix the ad-lib because he doesn't know how to do it. But you know, we're still powering through that, and like essentially I think that so far we're making very great progress. We're about like 8 songs into the album, so 4 more will be complete. As far as Juice goes, it's like, you know, that's one of my best friends. This is my brother. So he was there through all the midst of this shit. You know, Juice helped me move out of my house. Juice was there when I lost my car. Juice was there when I called him and told him that I just got my heart broken. You know what I'm saying? He was there through all that. So basically, him being there throughout that entire process, it was just like, it was no question whether like who was gonna produce the album. Like he was there through all of it, so he knew exactly what kind of sound that I was looking for. Not to mention the fact that me and him had been working together for a very long time. Funny story though, like back when I first met Juice, like back in 2014, we were solid for like 4 years, going on 5. But like when he used to produce, like his shit sucked. Like it was trash back then. Like it was not even recordable. I'm like, bro, like there's no way in hell I would use these beats. But you know, I always believed him, and I always thought that he would actually like come around and actually like be good at this shit eventually. And shit, you know what I mean? He did. You know what I mean? It worked out, which is very just like interesting to me. Like just like how like you can go from being trash to being like amazing, like in like about like a year time span. You know what I mean? I thought that was very interesting. As far as like, you know, if you want to check out the album or anything, you know, when it drops, it'll probably be sometime this summer. I don't have an official release date just yet, but it'll be on all streaming platforms: Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, SoundCloud, and there'll be quite a bit of visuals coming out too for the album. So make sure you check those out as well. And if you want to follow me on any social media platform, it's at Damn That Kid Fazle. So it's DAMNDATKIDFAZLE. I don't know why I have to fucking spell that out, but yeah. Shout out Hoosier for doing the interview. I appreciate y'all. And, you know, shout out Outcast for sponsoring it. You know, this is fun. Fuck with that. That's lit. Okay, so, you know, if you found this episode interesting, me and Joy will be doing more of these, more on a bi-weekly basis. We'll be bringing certain artists in, and they'll be essentially telling us things that you should know before you listen to their project. So make sure that you check out before you press play. It's lit.